Esquimalt Nation. I have deep gratitude for the caretaking of this land, past, present, and future. Their resilience and resistance to colonial oppression inspires us as we address the critical need for housing justice. We fight for dignity and rights of every person. And today I bring with me the voices of those who have been told they do not belong, those who have been pushed to the margins by systemic inequities. These voices have been central to a decade-long struggle in Abbotsford, where we fought for one simple truth. Housing is a human right and dignity is non-negotiable. Dignity is not a privilege. It is not something to be earned or granted by institutions. It is inherent to all of us. Yet, every day our system strips this dignity away from the most vulnerable, those forced to survive on the streets or in dehumanizing shelter programs. Housing justice is about more than four walls and a roof. It is about creating a system where no one has to beg to have the things that should be inherently given to everyone. The right to exist, the right to belong, and the right to thrive. In 2015, Abbotsford drug war survivors won their right to sleep in parks, striking down the City of Abbotsford anti-homeless bylaw. The Supreme Court recognized the responsibility to ensure people's basic needs are met, such as access to washrooms and hygiene, shelter. But really, what has changed since then? Have we embraced the solutions grounded in humanity and respect? Or are we still building policies that shame, isolate, and punish the poor? I can tell you it's the latter. It's time to go beyond the bare minimum. We need to embrace a revolutionary truth. The people who are most impacted by the housing crisis are not the problem. They are the solution. Let me tell you what happens when we listen to the people living in this reality every day. In Abbotsford, drug war survivors opened a shelter that was run entirely by members of the street community. This was opened with almost no rules and ran nearly flawlessly for 2 years until it was torn down for development. And then what did we do? We recognized that people aren't incapable of being housed, that they lack the resources, and that in the housing crisis, where a one-bedroom apartment costs $1,500 in Abbotsford, probably a lot more here, that people just weren't able to find something to rent. So we started renting houses and putting a whole bunch of people in them, and they just live. The system doesn't support it. So we have to. These programs have been praised by police, local businesses, service providers, but most importantly, by the people themselves. If we truly want solutions, we need to stop dictating from boardrooms and government offices. We must remove the indifference from institutions and paternalistic programs that prioritize control over compassion. We must shift the power to those who understand the problem better than anyone else, the people living it. Give them the resources and the tools and the space to create meaningful solutions. I promise you, they will do a far better job than the most well-intentioned bureaucrat ever could. This is a call for a revolution, not in the sense of chaos, but in the sense of transformation. A revolution where we dismantle the systems that perpetuate poverty and rebuild them to prioritize human dignity. A revolution where housing is not a privilege reserved for few, but a right guaranteed for all. A revolution where governments see consultation with impacted communities not as a box to check, but the essential foundation of their work. A revolution where we stop treating homelessness as an individual failing and recognize it is a collective one. Across Canada, housing is treated as a commodity. We see that in rising rents, unaffordable homes, shelters bursting at the seams. The housing continuum is broken. Incremental change will not fix it. We need bold, systemic action. We need it now. Dignity is non-negotiable. Housing justice is not only about solving homelessness, it's about creating a society that values every person. Imagine what we could achieve if we started with dignity. Imagine communities where no one is left behind. And imagine a country that puts resources in the hands of people who need them the most, rather than programs designed to control them. This is not a dream, it's a choice. A choice that can be made today if our government had the political will. Together, we can build this future. I ask you to leave here today with a commitment to fight for housing justice, not just with your words, but with your actions, and a commitment to amplify the voices of the marginalized and put power back where it belongs, in the hands of the people.